Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Yu, SEO manager from Jetcolor. Today I'm going to walk you through how to communicate SEO challenges with your client. Often, website migration is one of the biggest SEO challenges an SEO can have. And frankly speaking, the technical part isn't the most difficult thing. It is communicating with client about a migration issues and how to plan around it. Often, SEO are informed about a site migration way too late, sometimes just days before a launch. So in order to avoid all these chaos and try to rescue our sanity, it is very important to understand site migration in non-SEO languages. Because here it comes, like site migration in SEO terms. So we have all the domain migration, platform migration, structure migration, so that, we can talk the whole day about it, like what is the domain name changes, how to move to new CMS, blah, 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 blah. But then, this is not the language that clients understand. They will be like, what is a CMS migration? Okay, you're moving home in the back end then. So here comes to the site migration in non-SEO terms, because this is what the clients understand. For example, rebranding to a new name. So we are rebranding. So when an SEO, you kind of catch these hints for migration. You need to understand what's going on behind the website. So I'm going to go through a couple of them. So rebranding to a new website, you're trying to add to a new country's website. That's obviously international SEO, and moving to a new website, that's obvious. And we have adding to a new CMS, another obvious one. What's not so obvious is upgrading to a new CMS version. I think this is the one that a lot of us will be missed. A new CMS version might not have all the necessary fields as the old CMS. So that's why as an SEO, you wanted to make sure all the data are correctly transferred from the old version to the new version. I think this is one of the most tricky one. Another one is changing menu and navigation. You might start to question, it's just changing the menu and navigation. Why does it sound like it's moving home? You're moving from one site to another. No, I'm just trying to change the menu. Well, actually, because changing the menu structure, you might be doing all sorts of link changing, from taking away the whole section to adding a whole new bunch of links to the menu. So that's why these are all the major changes of the website. I would say when walking through all these hints for SEO migration, what you can think of here is what are the major website changes that can impact SEO? Because sometimes client might not know it would be a website migration. So the best thing you can do is when communicating regularly in your client meeting, you try to catch these hints so that you're able to identify a potential migration early on. So these are the SEO migration in human languages. And these are the languages that your client may speak. And then you can kind of try to educate them back, hey, these are the kind of stuff that actually needs to be done. So once you realize there is some migration going on, here are some questions to ask. So first, the timeline. When is the launch date? That's the most important thing. And how much time you have to prepare for the site migration. You will need to ask the reason for migration. So is it for marketing? Is it for rebranding? Or sometimes some client, they might just want to do it for compliance reason. They're separating two countries' entity. So the website has to separate as well, but that's not quite SEO oriented, I would say. And after that, we will have stakeholders. So who is leading the site migration? And what are the teams that involved? Usually, you will have the tech team, of course, who carry out the migration steps. And then the UI UX team, the marketing team, the brand communication team, and so on. So know your stakeholders. And then you will be able to understand what are the ways of working between these parties. Are you meeting regularly? Is there any weekly or bi-weekly meetings? Are you communicating through emails? And is there any ticketing platform, let's say Jira or ClickUp, to document the changes? And then you are able to store the information and your requirements and communicate that to the tech team. last but not least, do you have direct access to developers? Because I would say that's one of the most important factor for the success of a site migration. Because if a SEO requirement, they try to travel through like marketing, branding, corporate communication team, and then finally arrive to the tech team, sometimes things will be lost in translation. So after the question to us, we have the site migration process that involves planning, preparation, testing, launch, and monitoring. I would say in the early stage, it will be the planning and preparation time. So if you're involved in the site migration in the early stage, you have all the time to do the site analysis, try to provide SEO enhancement. So you do what you need. But if you're involved in, let's say, the testing phase or nearly days before launch, you still have a chance to do a good migration. But I think the focus here is to avoid major SEO mistakes in the website. If you're very unlucky to be involved in a site migration project after launch, all I can say is it's not your fault. It happens. What you can do is try to focus on the remedial action. So what are the quick fixes? How's the top 20 pages performing, and try to do the fixes for these pages to avoid all the traffic loss. So yeah, that's it. So hope it was helpful. I hope everyone have a smooth website migration, and you can follow me in my LinkedIn, Rebecca Yu, and have a good day.